The sister wives' financial empire that once generated millions in revenue is collapsing, and the economic aftermath reveals a story far more complex than the emotional drama we witnessed in season 19. While cameras captured tearful confessions and angry confrontations, the real battle is being fought in property records, business filings, and individual brand strategies that suggest season 20 could expose the true cost of America's most famous polygamous family split. When Kody Brown made his definitive statement about the future of plural marriage, the financial implications were as significant as the emotional ones. His certainty reveals someone who has calculated the costs and found them unsustainable.
Would you ever see the possibility of staying in polygamy, taking another wife?
No, hell no. And I'll tell you why. Because we already failed.
This admission represents the collapse of a brand built on successful plural marriage. The family's revenue streams, television contracts, book deals, speaking engagements, and merchandise were all predicated on demonstrating that polygamy could work in modern America. Kody's declaration destroys that foundation, forcing a complete economic restructuring. The numbers tell a compelling story that season 19 only hinted at. The family's Coyote Pass property, purchased for $820,000 in 2018 with dreams of building a polygamous compound, remains undeveloped while generating ongoing costs. Property taxes, insurance, and maintenance expenses continue accumulating while the land likely decreases in value due to lack of development and current market conditions. Meanwhile, the family's fragmented structure creates unsustainable financial pressure. When Christine declared her happiness and independence, she was also declaring her economic separation from the collective brand.
Way happier now. Way happier now. Yeah, no, I love my life now. Absolutely love it.
This isn't just personal satisfaction, it's market positioning. Christine has successfully monetized her post-plural marriage identity through social media, relationship content, and media appearances that generate independent revenue streams. Each household now maintains separate living expenses across multiple states, creating financial obligations that far exceed what the fractured family brand can support. The original economic model required all family members working toward collective success, but season 19 revealed how individual success often conflicts with family harmony. TLC's decision to greenlight season 20, despite the family's dissolution, signals network confidence in continued audience engagement, but it also creates new economic dynamics where individual cast members now compete for screen time and storylines that enhance their personal brands rather than contributing to collective family success. This fundamental shift in the show's economics will likely dominate season 20's narrative structure and determine which family members remain financially viable long-term. The investigation into these financial undercurrents reveals patterns suggesting season 20 will be forced to address practical money matters that season 19 carefully avoided. Property division, debt responsibility, and individual monetization strategies will likely dominate storylines as each family member fights for financial survival in their post-plural marriage reality. During season 19's finale interviews, careful observers noticed significant gaps in discussions about practical matters. When host Sukanya Krishnan asked about future relationships and reconciliation possibilities, the responses revealed more than just emotional distance. They exposed financial realities that could dominate season 20's narrative. Kody's admission about his doubts regarding future relationships with his ex-wives carries profound property implications. The Coyote Pass land, originally envisioned as the site for their polygamous compound, represents one of the family's largest shared assets. Public records show the property was purchased through various financing mechanisms, with different family members' names on different parcels, creating a legal maze that must be untangled.
I really doubt it. I don't think David would be wise to ever advocate that Christine and I sit down.
This statement suggests that property division discussions have likely been contentious and remain unresolved. The mention of David, Christine's new partner, indicates that new romantic relationships are complicating financial settlements. When exes refuse to communicate directly, property division typically requires legal intervention, generating attorney fees and court costs that drain the asset's value. The Coyote Pass situation exemplifies a broader pattern in reality TV family finances. Properties purchased during peak earning years often become financial anchors when families split. Development costs, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance expenses continue regardless of relationship status, while the property's value may decline without proper development or maintenance. Season 20 will likely be forced to address these practical matters. Viewers have invested years watching the family's property dreams, and the show's credibility requires explaining how those dreams are being dismantled. Whether through legal proceedings, forced sales, or complex ownership transfers, the Coyote Pass resolution will probably provide significant drama while revealing the true financial cost of the family's dissolution. Christine Brown's transformation from struggling sister wife to confident, independent woman represents more than personal growth. It's a calculated brand repositioning that demonstrates how individual family members are monetizing their post-plural marriage identities. Her confident declarations about current happiness mask sophisticated business strategies that could reshape the entire show's economic model. During her season 19 finale interview, Christine's body language and responses revealed someone who has successfully separated her personal brand from the family collective. Her relationship with David Woolley generated extensive media coverage, effectively launching her as an independent personality with distinct market value. This represents a seismic shift from the collective brand strategy that originally made the family famous.
Way happier now. Way happier now. Yeah, no, I love my life now. Absolutely love it. Coming back to Sedona, I was a mess. I was like, I can't believe I have to go back to that town, because Sedona was where I understood how little I mattered.
This statement reveals the emotional foundation of Christine's business strategy. By positioning herself as someone who overcame neglect and found happiness, she's created a narrative that appeals to audiences seeking inspiration and empowerment. Her social media presence now focuses on cooking, relationships, and personal growth content that generates independent revenue through sponsorships and affiliate marketing. The economic implications extend beyond Christine's individual success. Her departure removed one of the show's most relatable personalities and created a gap in family dynamics that affects overall brand value. Reality TV audiences invest in family units, and when those units dissolve, viewership often declines unless individual personalities can maintain audience engagement independently. Christine's financial strategy appears multifaceted. Beyond social media monetization, she's positioned herself for potential book deals, speaking engagements, and possibly her own television programming. Her cooking content and relationship advice create multiple revenue streams that don't depend on maintaining relationships with her ex-husband or former sister wives. This independence gives her negotiating power with production companies and advertisers that she lacked as part of the collective family brand. Season 20 will likely showcase this economic evolution, potentially featuring Christine's business ventures and independent lifestyle as evidence of successful post-plural marriage adjustment, while inadvertently highlighting how her success contributes to the family brand's overall decline. Robin Brown's defensive responses throughout Season 19's finale interviews reveal someone fighting to protect a brand identity that may no longer be economically viable. As the remaining legal wife in a failed plural marriage, Robin faces unique financial challenges that could dominate Season 20's storylines. Her attempts to deflect criticism and maintain the narrative of a functional relationship with Kody suggest awareness that her economic future depends on preserving whatever remains of the sister wives' brand value. When confronted about camping dynamics and household contributions, Robin's responses demonstrated classic damage control techniques. Rather than engaging with specific accusations, she consistently dismissed claims as coming out of left field and positioned herself as confused by the criticism. This defensive strategy serves economic purposes beyond protecting personal feelings.
That's not true. I remember pitching in too, taking my turns with cooking.
This defensive posturing reveals someone protecting a carefully constructed public image that supports her financial interests. As the wife who remained loyal to the plural marriage principle, Robin's marketability depends on maintaining the narrative that she was a positive force in the family rather than a divisive influence that contributed to its dissolution. However, Robin's economic position is arguably the most precarious of all family members. Unlike Christine, Janelle, and Mary, who have successfully launched independent brands, Robin remains tied to Kody and the polygamous family concept. Her individual marketability outside this context is limited, making her financially dependent on the continued success of whatever remains of the Sister Wives franchise. The financial implications of this dynamic are significant. Robin and Kody must maintain their household expenses while their collective earning power diminishes. The show's format change from depicting successful plural marriage to documenting its failure may provide short-term viewer interest, but it's unlikely to generate the long-term revenue that supported their previous lifestyle. Season 20 will likely force Robin to either develop independent revenue streams or double down on defending the plural marriage brand. Her financial survival may depend on convincing audiences that she and Kody represent successful monogamous marriage emerging from plural marriage failure. But this narrative faces significant credibility challenges given the family's history and ongoing conflicts with ex-wives. Janelle Brown's evolution during Season 19 represents perhaps the most sophisticated long-term financial strategy among the family members. Her embrace of the Earth Mama persona and farming ventures demonstrates how reality TV personalities can successfully transition from family-based brands to individual lifestyle marketing. Her candid discussions about sexuality and personal desires reveal someone building authentic personal brand equity that doesn't depend on maintaining family relationships. Throughout the finale interviews, Janelle projected confidence and self-awareness that contrasts sharply with the defensive postures of other family members. Her willingness to discuss personal topics, including sexuality and relationship desires, demonstrates someone comfortable with her individual identity and market position.
I really want to make sure, because it's so wild to me that everybody has assumed. So just trust that I am not. I'm a very sexual being. I'm a very earth mama.
This statement reveals calculated brand positioning. By embracing the Earth Mama identity, Janelle has created a marketable lifestyle brand that appeals to audiences interested in authentic living, farming, outdoor activities, and personal empowerment. Her farming venture and social media content, focusing on self-sufficiency and natural living, have created multiple revenue streams independent of the sister wives connection. The economic brilliance of Janelle's strategy lies in its sustainability. Unlike brands built on family drama or relationship conflicts, lifestyle brands can evolve and expand over time. Her farming content can transition into cooking shows, her outdoor activities can support gear sponsorships, and her authentic personality can anchor various media ventures. This diversification provides financial security regardless of the Sister Wives show's future. Janelle's financial independence also gives her negotiating power with production companies. She doesn't need the show for economic survival, which allows her to participate on her own terms or walk away if the arrangement becomes unfavorable. This position strengthens her individual brand value while weakening the collective family brand's leverage over her participation. Season 20 will likely showcase Janelle's successful transition to independent living and business ventures, potentially featuring her farming operation and lifestyle content as evidence of positive post-plural marriage outcomes. Her success story provides compelling television while demonstrating economic viability beyond the traditional family structure. Mary Brown's admission during season 19 that she's very single and ready to mingle represents one of the most significant brand pivots in the show's history. After years of maintaining loyalty to Kody and the plural marriage principle despite minimal reciprocation, her declaration of availability signals a complete financial and personal strategy overhaul that could generate substantial season 20 content while highlighting the economic cost of misplaced loyalty. Mary's transformation is particularly striking, given her historical role as the legal first wife who introduced subsequent wives to the family. Her loyalty to Kody, even during years of obvious neglect and public dismissal, appeared to be both emotional and economic strategy. As someone who helped build the family brand from its inception, she may have felt entitled to continued financial benefits from that collective success.
I am very single and ready to mingle, and you will never know if I get action.
Oh, I'm gonna find out.
This playful exchange reveals someone who has finally embraced the economic reality that her loyalty to Kody and the plural marriage concept was generating no financial returns. Her bed and breakfast business, social media presence, and potential romantic relationships represent attempts to build independent revenue streams that don't require maintaining relationships with family members who have publicly dismissed her value. The economic implications of Mary's pivot are significant for the overall family brand. As the legal first wife, she possessed unique historical perspective and legitimacy within the plural marriage narrative. Her departure from that role eliminates one of the show's foundational elements while adding her to the list of family members building competing individual brands. Mary's financial strategy appears to focus on authenticity and personal growth narratives that appeal to audiences who have watched her struggle with family dynamics for years. Her willingness to discuss dating and relationships creates content opportunities while positioning her as someone who has overcome difficult circumstances to find personal happiness. However, Mary's late entry into independent brand building puts her at a disadvantage compared to Christine and Janelle, who began their transitions earlier. Her bed and breakfast business and social media presence provide some financial foundation, but she faces the challenge of building significant independent revenue streams while competing with former sister wives who have head starts in their own brand development. Season 20 will likely feature Mary's dating life and independent business ventures as evidence of successful post-plural marriage adjustment, but her storylines may feel forced if they're primarily designed to generate television content rather than reflecting genuine personal development. Kody Brown's emotional breakdown during season 19 finale interviews exposed the fundamental problem facing the Sister Wives franchise. The original show format has become economically unsustainable. His tears while discussing memories with Robin revealed someone grappling with the reality that his life's work, building and maintaining a plural marriage family, has collapsed, taking the family's primary revenue source with it. Reality television thrives on conflict and resolution, relationship dynamics, and family growth stories. A show about one man and one woman living monogamously after a spectacular plural marriage failure offers limited dramatic content compared to the complex family interactions that originally made the show successful. The economic challenge for TLC and the production company is maintaining audience engagement when the fundamental premise has been destroyed.
Yeah, it's just like this become this discussion that Rob and I have had, and I was like, God, you can't lose when God is your wingman.
This emotional moment reveals Kody's awareness that even his relationship with Robin has been damaged by the family's dissolution. His reference to a better time suggests recognition that their current situation is unsustainable both personally and financially. The show's original appeal was built on the idea that plural marriage could work despite social challenges, but that narrative has been completely destroyed. The production value crisis extends beyond content concerns to basic economics. Filming a fractured family requires coordinating schedules across multiple households in different states, increasing production costs while potentially decreasing content quality. Individual family members now have competing interests and may prioritize their own storylines over collective family narratives. TLC's investment in Season 20, despite these challenges, suggests network confidence in divorce drama and individual redemption storylines. But this content model has limited lifespan. Once the immediate aftermath of family dissolution has been explored, the show faces the challenge of maintaining relevance when its central family unit no longer exists. The financial pressure on Kody and Robin to continue participating in the show may be significant, as they have fewer independent revenue streams compared to the ex-wives who have successfully launched individual brands. This economic dependency could force them to accept storylines and compensation arrangements that they might otherwise reject, potentially creating content that feels forced or inauthentic. Season 20 will likely represent a transition season where the show attempts to reinvent itself around individual success stories and ongoing family conflicts, but the long-term economic viability of this format remains questionable. The Season 19 finale revealed how former sister wives are now competitors in the attention economy, each developing individual brands that may conflict with collective family interests. This shift from cooperation to competition represents a fundamental change in the show's economic model and creates new dynamics that Season 20 will likely be forced to address directly. Christine's cooking content and relationship advice, Janelle's farming and lifestyle brand, and Mary's bed and breakfast and potential dating content all target overlapping audience segments while requiring different amounts of screen time and storyline development. The show's producers face the challenge of balancing individual brand building with collective narrative coherence, particularly when family members have competing economic interests. The competition for audience attention extends beyond the television show to social media platforms, podcast opportunities, speaking engagements, and potential book deals. Each family member's success in building independent audience engagement affects their negotiating power with production companies and their ability to demand favorable storylines or compensation arrangements.
I think that if we were each really, really secure and happy in our own lives, and we had gotten rid of all the sadness and everything from the past, then we could.
Mary's comment about potential family reconciliation reveals awareness that ongoing conflicts serve individual brand interests, even if they prevent family healing. Dramatic tension and unresolved conflicts generate viewer engagement, which translates to social media followers, speaking opportunities, and other revenue streams for individual family members. This creates perverse economic incentives where family members may benefit financially from maintaining conflicts rather than resolving them. The show's format rewards dramatic storylines and emotional content, potentially encouraging family members to amplify disagreements or resist reconciliation efforts that might reduce their individual market value. The individual monetization wars also affect content authenticity. When family members prioritize their individual brands over genuine family relationships, storylines may feel manufactured or forced. Viewers who invested years in the family's collective journey may become frustrated with content that appears designed primarily to serve individual economic interests rather than reflecting genuine personal growth or family development. Season 20 will likely showcase these competing individual brands while attempting to maintain some semblance of family connection, but the fundamental tension between collective storytelling and individual monetization will probably create content challenges that affect the show's overall quality and viewer satisfaction. Behind the emotional drama captured in Season 19 lies a complex legal and financial maze that Season 20 will likely be forced to address as family members work to separate shared assets and responsibilities accumulated over decades of marriage and business partnerships. The silence around practical financial matters in Season 19 suggests ongoing legal proceedings or negotiations that haven't been resolved. The Coyote Pass property represents just one element of a larger financial puzzle involving multiple real estate holdings, business ventures, debt obligations, and income streams that must be divided among former family members. Public records indicate various properties were purchased under different names and financing arrangements, creating legal complications that require professional resolution.
Would you do it all over again? Marrying these women and living a plural life. Would you do it all again?
No.
Kody's definitive response about not repeating the plural marriage experience carries significant legal implications. His rejection of the lifestyle that generated the family's wealth suggests awareness that the financial costs have exceeded the benefits. This admission could affect ongoing settlement negotiations and establish his position in any legal proceedings related to asset division. The legal complexities extend beyond property division to include business partnerships, intellectual property rights, and ongoing financial obligations. The Sister Wives brand itself represents valuable intellectual property that must be divided or shared among family members who contributed to its development but now have competing interests in its exploitation. Child support and custody arrangements add another layer of financial complexity, particularly when former spouses live in different states with varying legal requirements. These ongoing obligations could affect each family member's ability to relocate or make independent financial decisions, creating constraints that impact their individual brand development efforts. The show's production contracts and compensation arrangements also require modification to reflect the family's new structure. Individual family members may now negotiate separate deals with different terms and conditions, potentially creating disparities in compensation that could generate additional conflicts. Season 20 will likely feature some resolution of these legal and financial matters, either through direct coverage of settlement negotiations or indirect references to their outcomes. The show's credibility requires addressing practical questions that viewers have about how the family's shared wealth and obligations are being divided, even if specific financial details remain confidential for legal reasons. Based on the financial pressures and brand evolution patterns revealed in Season 19, Season 20 will likely represent a financial reckoning for the Brown family, forcing long-avoided practical discussions while showcasing how individual family members have adapted their economic strategies to post-plural marriage reality. The season will probably balance ongoing drama with resolution of practical matters that have been deferred throughout the family dissolution process. Property resolution will dominate early Season 20 storylines, as the Coyote Pass situation requires definitive action. Whether through forced sale, complex ownership transfers, or development decisions, this expensive shared asset must be addressed to provide closure for both family members and viewers who have followed the property saga for years. The resolution will likely reveal the true financial cost of the family's dissolution and establish each member's economic position moving forward. Individual business ventures will receive increased focus as Season 20 showcases successful post-plural marriage adaptations. Christine's relationship and lifestyle content, Janelle's farming operation, and Mary's bed and breakfast business will probably be featured as evidence that family members can thrive independently. While Kody and Robin's situation may highlight the challenges faced by those who remain tied to the failing plural marriage brand.
Yeah, and more happiness to everybody.
Kody's closing sentiment suggests acceptance of the family's new reality, but Season 20 will test whether this acceptance translates into practical cooperation on financial matters or continued conflict that serves individual brand interests. His financial future depends on either rebuilding his individual brand or maintaining whatever value remains in his relationship with Robin. The show's format evolution will become apparent as Season 20 balances individual storylines with collective family narrative requirements. TLC's investment in continuing the series suggests confidence in the divorce drama model, but the season will likely determine whether this approach can sustain long-term viewer interest and justify continued production costs. Financial transparency will increase as legal settlements are finalized and family members become more comfortable discussing the practical aspects of their separation. Viewers who have invested years in the family's journey deserve explanations about how shared dreams and assets are being divided, and Season 20 will probably provide more concrete information about these arrangements than previous seasons offered. The ultimate question Season 20 must answer is whether the Sister Wives brand can successfully transition from depicting functional plural marriage to showcasing successful post-plural marriage individual achievement, or whether the show's economic model has been permanently damaged by the family's dissolution and competing individual interests.